Hi guys, you're welcome back to my podcast, Care Conversations with Chidi. As you all know, we are Vimsa Home Care Services, and we are focused on caring for seniors with dementia. Okay, and so as part of our awareness campaign on dementia, I'm going to be discussing with you the disease progression and stages of dementia today. And so it's important to know, as someone who cares for persons with dementia, as someone who is a family member or a concerned citizen, or you have a colleague or a co-worker or someone who is just in your social circles that might be suffering from dementia and nobody has known or identified or diagnosed this condition, or even the diagnosis has been made, it's important for you to have an understanding of the stages of progression of the disease, and so you can know how to care for them, or how to help them, or how to assist them, or how to be of help to them at various phases of this disease. So it's important to know that dementia progresses in stages, and the timeline varies from individual to individual. It's not the same for every person. Some people progress faster, some people progress more slowly, some people, they are just varied ways of progression, and it depends on the underlying pathology and the severity of the disease for each person. Now, firstly, remember there are three stages. We have the early stage, we have the middle stage, and we have the late stage. Okay, so the early stage is usually a stage of mild dementia. Some abilities are often retained in this presence. Things like basic self-care is still present, social interaction is still present, awareness of deficits is still present. Okay, so the person is able to tell, I think I'm losing my memory, I think I'm forgetting things more frequently than I used to. Okay, and the person can still function in social settings. So this is usually at the early stage, and the common challenges for such people is forgetfulness, misplacing items, the difficulty with complex tasks, anxiety or frustration. It's always scary to know that you're losing your memory. Okay, and people can really get worried, and anxiety begins to build up. So these are some of the challenges that people in the early stage of dementia face, and the care for them at this stage is different from the care for people at the other stages of dementia. And I often state this because this podcast is not a clinical podcast, it's not a medical podcast. It's for everyday persons and caregivers to be able to understand what's going on in the life of their relatives and their loved ones who might be suffering from dementia. Okay, and so the focus of care in such people is firstly to support independence, secondly to build routines, and finally to encourage decision making. So as much as possible, for as long as possible, it's important to support independence. Don't quickly relieve them of all responsibilities and duties and make them fully dependent. Okay, so support them, encourage them, and more importantly, build routines. Don't switch things on them so fast. It helps them to stay more calm, being in environments that they've always known. Familiar places and spaces is also important at this stage of dementia, and so that is what the care focus for such a person is supposed to be at this point. Now, the second stage is the middle stage, or the moderate dementia phase, and for these persons, their challenges are increasing. Confusion about time and place is worsening, difficulty in recognizing people, changes in sleep patterns, increased agitations and wandering. Okay, so they may begin to wander away from the house or places where they are being kept, and these are features of moderate dementia and middle stage of dementia. And the focus of care for them at this stage should be cueing and prompting. Okay, prompt them to do things, give them prompts for things that you expect from them, and all of that. And then safety supervision. Remember, wandering is a risk, is a safety risk, is a hazard. Okay, and so persons at this stage of dementia, and if you have them in your residence, either in a senior's homes or they are in their own homes, you must maintain safety supervision for them. Things like a lock on the door that is not easily opened, and all of these features that might protect them from harming themselves. Now, emotional reassurance is also key at this stage. The emotional outbursts that accompany this stage of dementia might take some people unawares, and if you're not careful, you might lose it, even though you're supposed to be caring for them. And so you must reassure them, from time to time, and that helps them to cope with this phase of dementia. Number 3 is the late stage, which is also known as severe dementia. Now, in this phase, there is significant decline, and there is limited verbal communications from these people. There is total dependence for activities of daily living. They are unable to carry out their activities of daily living. Okay, so some even come down with difficulty in swallowing and loss of mobility, their inability to move. Remember that some types of dementia come with Parkinson's disease-like symptoms. Okay, so as the memory is worsening, as the independence or the lack of independence is worsening, then loss of mobility might accompany some cases of severe dementia. And the focus of care at this point should be simply comfort and dignity, non-verbal communication as much as you can, pain and distress recognition. So you need to know, because they may not be able to communicate the pains that they are going through and the distress that they are going through. So they need more supervision, closer monitoring, closer supervision and safety supervision. All of these things come with the late stage and severe dementia. And so if you are caring for someone in this level or stage of dementia, or at any of the phases, I believe this podcast is going to help you to know what they might be expecting from you beyond the medical clinical care that they are currently receiving. Thank you very much, and see you in the next episode. Please don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel as we keep on putting out things to create awareness about the disease dementia. Thank you, and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.